Hey guys, Simon here with Caddis Fly Shop and Oregon Fly Fishing Blog, and today I'm talking to you about this Pyramid Lake Popcorn Beetle. This is a staple to have if you're going there. If you've done any research for your trip, you've probably come along this pattern. I'm going to show you how to tie it pretty easy with some new foam from Hareline. This is a fly that you fish on a sinking line. It looks like a popper or gurgler, but you fish it on a sinking line, and as you strip and pause, you strip and it goes down, and then you leave it and it comes up. And so this is like the action. It's kind of going up and down. A lot of times you'll fish it with another little streamer or bugger behind it. Super popular. This is the most common colorway that we see a lot of. You can also do like red and black, purple black, red and white, all sorts of stuff. But a lot of different options, and this is just a fly you're going to want to have if you're going down there. It's pretty easy to tie, so you shouldn't pass it up. It's a really good one. So I'll show you guys a closer look on how it works, and we'll get to it. Closer look at this fly, B10S from Gamakatsu, size 6. It's a stinger hook. Very, very strong and pretty aggressive for these large cutthroat. Tail is marabou. It also can be omitted. Some popcorn beetles have no tail, but this is Hareline blood quill marabou. Pretty simple. Right down here we have cactus chenille in chartreuse medium from Hareline, and here is new foam from Hareline. This is the 3mm high float foam from Hareline, and there's a little bit of resin down here to hold it all together. But you can do a variety of colors. You can do black and purple. You can do chartreuse and white. You can do red and white. You can mix and match several different colors. And omitted tail or have a tail. You could also put a little bit of flash in. This is sort of how it's traditionally tied with this marabou. You can also tie it with marabou and snip the marabou off too. So it's very versatile this way, where if they want the tail, you can have it. If they don't, you can just snip it off real easy. So that's why I put it on. Okay, so like I was saying before, this is a B10S size 6. So the sizes you could tie these popcorn beetles is, what's really common is like 6 to 8, but you could probably do like 4 through 10. It might help to have a spread of sizes, but what I'm tying this on is a 6, which is a pretty common size. It's not too big. These fish are really large. They also eat little chironomids, so they do eat little things, but this is what I see these tied in a lot, is a 6. And so we're going to bring thread wraps back. This is a Vivis 100 denier GSP. Any strong thread will do, but this stuff's really good. You can really crank on it, which is really important for a fly like this. So right now we're laying down a thread base. It's a pretty simple tie. There's just a couple steps. Tail's marabou if you decide to do it. I'm showing you it with the tail. Like I said before, you could always snip it off, but I'm going to make the tail a little bit longer than the shank here. So just a hair. And we're going to take the tips here. And we are going to tie it into the end. And a trick with tying in tails is to tie it lightly first and see kind of where you're at and measure and snug it up if you need. And then, if it looks like it's in the right spot, then you really crank it down. And then a trick, especially for this fly, is so you have something for your materials to bite into, is just to take some wraps of this marabou up to the front. It helps to bring your thread up to the front so you don't have to do this. But now you have something for the foam to bite into. It's really important when tying like foam bodied dry flies too, so the foam doesn't just slip around. Sure, some of you have experienced buying cheap dry flies where the body just like slides around on the shank. That's because there's not anything for it to bite into here. So we have our tail tied in back here, and we are going to take some of this foam, this 3mm high float foam in white, and this is just shy of a 1/2 inch, and we are going to tie this in back here. And you're just going to crank down on it. It's going to look ugly. You're probably going to be thinking, how is this going to work? It looks really weird. Just trust in it, and you're going to keep cranking on it like this until it's all flattened out. And next thing you know, it's starting to look a little more uniform. This is why you need GSP or something really strong, because I'm like cranking on this, totally collapsing the cells of this foam. But this is the Hareline 3mm high float foam in white. So this is new. If you fish chubbies, you've probably noticed some of the chubbies, especially the Montana Fly Company ones, have this kind of bubbly foam that floats way better. That's what this stuff is. For the body, we're going to do cactus chenille medium chartreuse. If you're doing this colorway, if you do a different colorway in this size, you still want medium. And so we're going to make sure this is tied in tight, bring our thread to the front, and we're going to start wrapping. And you might have to kind of help the fibers back each time, just depending on how it's laying out. But we are going to take some wraps up to the front. You don't need to do them too tight. It just depends on the density of the body that you want, how much like fritz from it that you want. I think a fair amount's good. You don't need to go crazy. And right now, we'll be tied off. We'll snip this. I also like to snip a little bit of this up front just to clean it up. But I'm going to crank down on this. This fly's going to get abused by these fish. So I definitely want to use a heavy thread and make some tight wraps. And so now you kind of get where you want to be. You don't want to be right on the eyelet. We're going to pull it forward and clamp where you want to be. Close to the eyelet, but not right on it. Another cool thing about this fly is this is also like a gurgler, so you can use this as a dry fly if you have extra ones after your trip. You can use them for bass and stuff and panfish, so it's kind of a pretty versatile fly. So we'll snip the excess off. I like to cut it long first, and then I'll make another cut just to make sure I don't snip it too short, especially if I haven't tied one of these in a while. But then we will whip finish on the bottom here. This is why you leave a little space, because you'll whip finish down here. I'll do 2 whip finishes. That'll kind of push the front of this up. So it'll push a little bit of water. But basically how this fly works is you fish it on a sinking line. And like I said earlier in the intro, it'll kind of bob through the water as you fish it. And that's what drives the fish nuts. I don't know why. When I first saw it, I thought it was like a popper thing, but it really isn't. You fish it subsurface. Right now, I am adding adhesive down here, some sort. This is specifically Solar's Bone Dry. This is a fly that, again, is going to get beat up, so I am curing it. You see it's very bright if UV rays hit it, so this is what the fish sees. So it's probably why they go crazy for it, because that's insane. And so now you got this crazy UV popcorn beetle. If you like it and it ends up saving your trip, let us know in the comments how it worked. Give us leave a comment or a like or subscribe. You can get all this stuff at caddisflyshop.com, and you can read about this and more at OregonFlyFishingBlog.com. Thanks, guys.